Hi, everybody. This is Jean Beauvoir, and you are listening to Tom and Zeus on Shout It Out Loud Cast.
Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. I like it.
Welcome to episode 74 of Album Review Crew, where we are going to discuss and dissect this Motown classic. We're going to be joined soon by Shout It Out Loudcast Hall of Famer and renowned author and fellow Pantheon podcaster, the great friend of the show, James Campion. But until then, Zeus, it's me and you. What's up?
Yeah, I'm excited to do this. Kind of a off the beaten path here, doing a Motown album.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. But before we do that, we'll get back to what we normally do, and that is that hard rock genre. And we did AC/DC's For Those About to Rock. We salute you.
Yeah.
And we do a poll every time about favorite track. Tom, how'd that go?
Yep, and we were joined by another Shout It Out Loudcast Hall of Famer for that one, the great David LaGreca from Busted Open Radio on Sirius XM. So we got back-to-back Hall of Famers here. I like that. But yeah, for the poll for those about to rock, we salute you. Of always its favorite song. 4 options: the title track for those about to rock, Put the Finger on You, Let's Get It Up, and Night of the Long Knives. No surprise here. The title track for those about to rock wins the poll. 56% Put the Finger on You at 19. Let's Get It Up at 15. Night of the Long Knives at 10. Our buddy BC Mill says Inject the Venom. Yeah, dude, that was one of my favorites on the album. Not an option on the poll, but definitely one of my favorites. John Gross, Put the Finger on You is a classic that should get played way more than it does. Yep. David Doble says, I can't believe I Put the Finger on You is losing so bad. It's the catchiest song they ever wrote. Okay, wow. Coach Green says, For Those About to Rock is the best Brian Johnson song, End of Story.
Dennis Green?
Save that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
It's an all Tecmo Bowl appearance episode, Tom.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at some comments regarding the episode itself on Twitter here. Our buddy Tony from Restrained. What's with the steam whistle? Is that David's laugh? It sounds like Nana was a tea kettle on fire.
No, that actually sounds like Restrained's new album.
Oh, see? Come on.
And thanks, by the way, Tony, for the intro music. You rock.
Of course. Yes. Yeah, David LaGreca, maybe he had some mic issues. John Gross chimes in and says, guys, I own and enjoy all the Kicks records. One of the best live bands that I ever saw. Yeah, I know you're a Pennsylvania guy like our buddy Steve Wright, and I believe Kicks is from that area. So,
here you go, Tom.
I guess Kicks is like the Aerosmith of Pennsylvania or whatever.
I don't know, but Tom, you're going to get thrown into that Kickstart group again. Well, being a big fan like Tom of Kicks.
Yeah, I own the CD. But Tony chimes in again here, who says, please be one of the 6 people that buy the new Restrained record. Maybe we will sell 7 this time. Hey, you know what, though? In all seriousness, bravo to Tony and Restrained. They're touring. They're doing a show with LA Guns out in California coming up soon. So that's pretty cool. So
I think LA Guns gets a mention later in the show, Tom, too.
Between
really LA Guns and fake LA Guns that was going around for a while. Remember them?
Exactly, I do. Here's a Twitter handle that I don't remember seeing. Kiss Nerd. He says, great timing. I'm catching up on previous album reviews, and I just wrapped up Highway to Hell. Dude, that was like 4 years ago. What the fuck? How far behind are you? Vet Halen says, I'm 20 minutes into the episode. I'm still in feedback from the last episode. And there's one thing that will be stuck in my head all day now. We don't need no. Oh, God. Parental guidance. Oh.
Good song.
All right, so
that's guidance here.
That's Twitter for AC/DC this time around.
All right, going to the Book of Face. Thanis, I don't wear shoes. Akratides, the Horiati, the Greek villager from Australia. Great.
What?
His feet are probably like withered down with the cold snow right now, Tom.
Well, I don't think it's snowing where he is.
Oh, you're probably right. I think it's summertime over there,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, Willow's getting 16 feet of snow every other week.
Oh, they're probably all sweaty and shit. The talons are all like,
Swooping down.
Don't get started on that.
No, go ahead.
Great review, guys. Also great hearing David. The passion for the album by Tom and David. Settle down. Good album. Great title call, but not my favorite AC/DC album. Not even top 5. Well produced, well sung, but the songs are not in the same league as TNT, Highway to Hell, High Voltage, B&B. I actually like Black Ice more than this. And Turbo, yeah, Zeus.
Wow.
Tom Selling. Why does Zeus' impression of Brian Johnson sound like Captain Caveman?
Jeez.
Although his point was spot on, he did seem like he was turning into a caricature. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Sound like fucking Dice Man doing the woman's voice. Anthony, don't call me Mike Hunt.
God.
Once again, except for Wasp, your review is spot on.
Uh-oh.
Dude, that's a legendary review. Wow,
Yeah.
that Wasp debut.
It was. That was one of my all-time favorites. And I have a lot of favorites.
Definitely the last great AC/DC album and total Mutt Lange record. Listen close and you can hear him in the backing vocals. See how the backing vocals sound like those old Def Leppard records? Also, something I thought interesting was talking about the color of the cover. Exactly. My. And he has the color of Priest Live right next to AC/DC's for those about to rock.
Yep.
Derek Rolando says, I remember a local radio station was having a request where you pick 3 songs off an artist and they would play them. This guy calls and asks for Night of the Long Knives. And the DJ is like, yeah, I don't know who's going to want to hear that, but I'll play it.
What? Yeah. Fucking best song on the album. Come on now.
Anthony the Taxman Hall of Famer Barone said, shocked to see this pick, but in a good way.
All right.
Chris D says, all right, fellow Patreon, Tom gave us the assignment and he put an image of Billy Ocean's album Suddenly.
Well, we're in the middle of compiling all the Patreon picks right now for March, so watch out.
Oh, Amy Murbach. Fantastic episode. My husband saw AC/DC on this tour. He was seated near one of the cannons and couldn't hear for 3 days afterwards. Love the album review crew. Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Oh, that's awesome.
Steve Warsap puts his covers. Yeah, puts his covers and then his albums and then ranks the songs. He's always great about that.
Yep.
Let's go over to Loudcasters, the group page. I'm into the group thing.
Yeah, my name is Peaches, and I'm the best. All the
DJs want
to touch my breast.
I was Joan of Arc in a former life. Daniel Haller Houston says, fuck yes. Murray Passeru says, I put the finger on you as my favorite AC/DC song. Catchy as hell.
Wow.
Michael Murphy says there was only one way to go for these guys after Powerage, Highway to Hell, and Back in Black. It's a solid, if not unspectacular album. It's still light years better than fucking Turbo. Come on, Zeus. It signaled the beginning of the downward trend in terms of quality of the albums they released going forward. They always were and remain a great live band. Night of the Long Knives is a standout track for me. Great episode. Hall of Famer Gary Capp. The last great AC/DC album as far as I'm concerned. Mutt Lange's production on this album is great, just as it was for Back in Black. The sound of the album is incredible.
Yeah.
He's not alone on this one. John Whiteman says, anybody else here Dr. Feelgood in The Night of the Long Knives? Yeah, song about Nazis purging political opponents.
Yeah.
Rex Jaycox adds, it's an okay album, but it's no Billy Ocean.
Jesus, here we go.
Yeah. Joey Hall of Famer Tight Jeans Romanek.
I love Joey, but he writes like like essays for Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah, Joey writes a fucking long ass paragraph here, buddy. I got to get you to start writing shorter shit because I can't read all this stuff and get through this stuff.
Just use AI to summarize it for you. You'll be fine.
Or have it write a book for you instead. Michael Jude Grimes says, filth, farm filth. Fuck yes.
I love that.
I got to read Frank because, of course, he still brings it up. Great pick, Tom. Happy to see you're still triggered by having to review Turbo last month. As you can see from most of the comments, people don't think it's that bad. Let's see how you do with Dangerous Toys next time around. Oof. And for those about to rock is a weird album for me because it's not one of my go-to AC/DC records. It may not even be my top 5. However, it's still a great listen. There's no dud on it, but I have to agree with Zeus that the title track has to be one of the most overrated tunes by AC/DC. Maybe in all of heavy metal. I'll go even further. I've seen AC/DC 6 times a concert. I cringe. I hear them start to play it.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't cringe, but I think it's extremely overrated.
Yeah.
Compared to the other stuff that they actually have. So over on Blue Sky, Double Trouble 11 writes, Evil Walks should have been ranked higher.
Okay. Great song.
Okay. That's a pretty good song, too.
It's a pretty good song off that album.
Over on YouTube, we got a comment here from Heavy Metal Farmer. I've always thought the riff in Night of the Long Knives is similar to Dr. Feelgood from Motley Crue. Wow. Great album review. Okay. So another one about Dr. Feelgood. I got to hear it again to make sure that you guys, there's a couple of you guys talking about it. So there's got to be something there. Tom, back to you.
All right, let's take a look at the Spotify comments. We always like to remind people you can comment directly from Spotify while you're listening to the episode. Our buddy Rick Rare says Brockmeyer is awesome and Amanda Pete is in it. Who brought up Brockmeyer?
I don't know.
Oh, was that Dave? Did Dave LaGreca bring that up? I don't know. Anyways, we love Rick. MS Kavik. Hey, guys, great episodes. For those about to fire. Kane the Main. Oh, my God. Now you know you really have to review Billy Ocean's Suddenly album. Oh, boy.
Dude, there's a ton of that shit. There was more I didn't read.
I know. BP says, while I am a Kiss tard, I'm actually a bigger AC/DC tard. And I always think this album sounded a bit tired. Oh, boy. You boys have the trinity of albums wrong. Their best album is Powerage. That fucker swings. It's Powerage, Highway to Hell, and then Back in Black. And if the production were better on Fly on the Wall, that album would be one of their best. The guitar riffs are some of the best they ever did, and some of Angus's leads were off the charts. Maybe give it a revisit. Great review. Bartolome Nowitzki. I love For Those About to Rock. Heavy. Brian just kills it on the vocals, and great drumming from Phil Rudd. And our buddy Jason Worden, sweet pick, Tom. Love me some AC/DC, and hearing the recap of your disgust with so many folks loving Turbo. For Those About to Rock should clean the music palette. And, yeah, Dave. All right. A couple things on Instagram. Tabor Randy says, I know you rarely, if ever, reply anymore, but just wanted to let you know how much I love your show every morning with Bully and Nick. So he's obviously talking to Dave here. Most of those two because we all love 80s metal especially. Motley Crue, Ozzy was my first concert at the Boston Garden. Shout at the Devil, Bark of the Moon tour 2 months later. And I also saw Kiss, Animalize, and Queensryche The Warning tour in Providence, and hundreds more since then. Operation Mindcrime is my favorite metal album of all time, but I love your song choices in between breaks. Grim Reaper was an awesome choice last week, blah, blah, blah. So pretty much he's commenting on Dave being a guest, which is wonderful. And I'm happy about that.
Grim Reaper?
Yeah, and Dave comments, says, thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate you. I need to be more active here. Yeah, you do, Dave. Let's look at a couple emails here.
By the way, Dave is fucking killing it on Busted Open.
Yeah.
They just went over to WWE headquarters and interviewed a bunch of people, including the heavyweight champ, Drew McIntyre and stuff. And
nice.
They're fucking killing it. Killing it on Busted Open.
Cool. Let's look at a couple emails here. Our friend from Finland, the great Jani Aslak Rasanen. For Tom, Like Tom, this album is special to me because it was my entry point for AC/DC. It was the mid-'80s. I was 7 years old. My friend played it to me from the very first finger pick and lick. There was something evil and scary for a kid my age. I had seen the logo and pictures of Angus doing the devil horns in rock magazines, but I hadn't heard a note of the music. Fell in love with the band immediately. And I was already a Kiss fan at the time, and like Kiss, the imagery was scarier than the musical content. It was ballsy and raunchy and fun, but not really scary. I have to agree with all three of you. It was the last good AC/DC album. Back in Black was really good. This is just good. The production is awesome, but like Dave said, it's all deep cuts after the title track. Reminds me of Alice Cooper's School's Out. The first song is a masterpiece, and the rest of the album is okay and nothing to write home about. One last thing. A musician friend of mine once said about AC/DC, it's like Donald Duck has a heavy metal band. AC/DC with Brian Johnson has never been the same after that. I still love them, though, but like most, I'm a Bon Scott guy. And I think most people probably are. And our buddy Backpack Brad Rustoven from the Slamfest podcast. Tom and Zeus, I salute you. Great choice, Tom. A forgotten classic album that was unfairly in the shadows of its predecessor. Tom, I'm with you also. I love the cover. Actually, I love the 3 album covers they had in a row. Back in Black, this, and Flick of the Switch. Plain, simple, and straightforward, which matches the hard rock you're going to get when you drop the needle on any of these albums. Plus, they ended up using 2 Civil War cannons on the Flick of the Switch and Fly on the Wall tours, which was obviously influenced by the album cover. They tried to one-up themselves with cannons used on subsequent tours, and it got ridiculous. You guys were talking about the sales of Back in Black and For Those About to Rock. And then our buddy Brad does his research on his album stats, as always. Brad, thank you. And if you haven't checked out Slamfest, check it out. Great show. Julian Grandison, the drop-off after this album is astonishing. Who knows for sure, but a producer that pushed them and Brian still being able to sing with real power made a difference. I always think that Angus and Malcolm got to a point where they decided they didn't need anyone telling them what to do, so they went for a producer that wouldn't challenge them as much. It's a great, great album, but to get from here to Fly on the Wall in 2 albums is incomprehensible. Definitely some great moments after that, and I really like Ball Breaker and Stip Up Upper Lip, but a lot of filler. It feels to me that they knew they wouldn't play a lot of them live, so they didn't spend much time on them. Bond albums sound as though they were easy to make, but Brian sound like a lot of work to me. All right, good point. And we finish up feedback here with an email from our buddy Josh Parham. Just finished your most recent ARC review. Great show as always. I never owned this album, so I was excited to hear the tracks and your take on it. My first exposure to AC/DC was Who Made Who, which had the song For Those About to Rock in its rightful place at the end of the album. Speaking of the last track, I always wonder why some bands don't put a good song in the final spot in the album. I understand wanting to bury filler tracks, but wouldn't you want the album to go out with a bang and leave the listeners wanting more? Never understood putting a bad song last. Thanks for all you do, Josh in Texas. I don't know if the last song is bad, but I get what you're saying. And Zeus, that is AC/DC feedback.
All right, let's close the book on that, and let's open the book to Motown. And we're going to bring in Hall of Famer James Campion in, and we'll be right back.
So this week, our third man is longtime friend of the show and Shout It Out Loudcast Hall of Famer, and now fellow Pantheon podcaster with his new show. It's our good friend, James Campion. What's up, brother?
Boys, thank you so much for having me on again. I love this. You know,
we love it too.
This is a curveball, so I'm ready to go.
James, it's a curveball for a lot of us, except for Zeus. So he's the captain of this ship this month.
This has been a long time coming, because when we started ARC, we were strictly thinking hard rock, metal, things like that. And then we started detouring, and for a while, I'm like, can I get into this? Can I do this? I'm like, I don't know. And then we did a hip hop album. Then we did.
I did Prince.
Elvis.
Prince was our first like non-rock real.
But then
curveball.
we did like single soundtrack.
Yep.
Then we did, the Elvis live.
Yep.
So I'm like, we're kind of veering off. And I wanted to get a Temps album in which album I picked this one because this is my favorite of theirs. Mm-hmm. And it means a lot to me. So usually what we do is when we start these things off, we talk about how you got into the album. Mm-hmm. So in order to talk about all this, I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory here. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, I like history. I like music. And at one point, I didn't see it when it was first on. At one point, I think it was like VH1, which is the king. Like VH1 became so big and so good after MTV started sucking.
Yep.
They played the Temptations movie on constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in the background. So I started watching it. I watched the whole thing, and everybody knows My Girl and Papa was a Rolling Stone. You know those, you hear them on the radio. So you didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, what, why is there a story on the Temptations? What's so important about that? Like, why are they interested? I watched it and was fucking like amazed. And then you can do kind of a Kiss Beatles thing, which is your favorite Temp. Now this guy, 5 guys, they all sing lead. They all have a different kind of voice. They all have different personalities. What do you like? And it just took off from there. The miniseries really took off. I highly, highly suggest anybody that has a chance to go watch it. Leon, the actor there that plays David Ruffin, is just fucking amazing. Amazing shit. Background stories of like Berry Gordy, the Supremes, all of it within the Temptations. And the funny thing about the Temptations is it's almost like the opposite of Kiss. Mm-hmm. The guys that do the least singing run the band. So the guy Otis Williams, who's the only like living founding member, really ran the band. And so did his partner, the guy with the deep voice, Melvin Franklin. Those guys were the guys that were in it until basically Melvin passed away. They ran the Temptation. When you think of the Temptations, you think of David Ruffin, Eddie Kendricks, and things like that. But it's the opposite. And so you learn that background, you learn the story, you start hearing about who's your favorite singer and stuff. So you get into the music. The first thing I did is I bought one of my favorite all-time greatest box sets, and that is the Temptations box set, Emperors of Soul. This fucking thing is so goddamn amazing. It's not even funny. So, disc 1, you got all the beginning stuff that you see that they just couldn't take off. Why couldn't they take off? And then you get to disc 2, and all of a sudden, they got this guy named David Ruffin now. Let's see if he helps the band. And holy shit, what happens? And then comes disc 3, which is probably the era of the band that you've told me, James, you like. You're like, they lost David Ruffin. Well, that's fucking done, right? Well, all of a sudden they get Dennis Edwards in, right? And Cloud 9 era and all that psychedelic shit comes in that a lot of people learn to love afterwards. Just My Imagination is in that era. Papa's the Rolling Stones in that era. Cloud 9. There's so much Psychedelic Shack, so much shit there. And then afterwards, there's a bunch of like more contemporary R&B stuff. Regardless, fucking love this. So then I got into Temptations' Christmas album. Then I started buying the single albums themselves, the Lost album, this album. And with a lot of soul was by far my favorite of them all. And that is classic David Ruffin, original classic 5. David Ruffin, tenor baritone, Melvin Franklin, bass vocals, Eddie Kendricks, tenor falsetto, Otis Williams, second tenor, and Paul Williams, the baritone. These are the guys. If you want to know, if you see them, who looks like Paul Williams looks like Dr. Dre's fucking brother. It's unbelievable. He looks like Dr. Dre. Eddie Kendricks, people know. David Ruffin with his trademark glasses. Everybody knows him. Melvin Franklin's got those big eyes. Eddie Kendricks, good-looking, skin-thinny guy. And then Otis Williams looks like any normal guy. Amazing shit. Anyways, I bought this album, fell in love with it. And when you buy albums by a band that you know their vocals move you, you'll find shit that any deep cut, you're like, holy shit, this works. This works. This works. Because it doesn't matter what they're singing. They make everything work. So I found so many more deep cuts on this. But a lot of these songs are already on this box set that I had, so I knew of them. But the deep cuts I ended up falling in love with just as much. And it's just something that I feel like if people knew about this or, may not be their style, just check it out. If that's not your type of music, it's fine. But you might find something you'll love because this is just, to me, incredible music. And that's me telling you how I got into this album. Tom or James, I don't care. One of you guys go next.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, so again, I've never owned a Temptations album, but coming from a family of music, I like everything. I love soul, funk, R&B. I love Motown, but I'm the kind of guy that I like the hits, the compilations. I remember when the Big Chill soundtrack came out, and everybody and their mother owned that cassette and CD, and that was played a lot in my house. And that was probably one of the first real exposures to these bands, Smokey Robinson and the Temptations and Four Tops and just et cetera, et cetera. That
do you remember what song was on that soundtrack?
Oh, the soundtrack's fantastic. It's like a great.
Do you remember which Temptation song was?
I can't off the top of my head.
I know you want to leave
me,
but I refuse to let you go.
Ain't too proud of
Fucking Stones did a. And I love the Stones
did a
version.
sick version of that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yes.
And I can love both versions. Hey, Rod Stewart does a lot of these songs, and he does a good version of them. Very different. But yeah, that fucking I love that when I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, like the Motown sound, it's I'll be completely honest with you. We'll talk about when we get into the album. Like the Motown sound for me is very hot and cold. The Motown stuff that I love, I think it's fantastic, and I love it. But there's some stuff that just doesn't hit for me. I mean, I guess you could say that about any genre. Like, I like hard rock, but I don't like all hard rock. So I think it's kind of a generic statement. But my point is, there is some stuff that the Temptations do, especially on this album, that I find fascinating and amazing. And I've never owned this album. I've never heard it until Zeus picked it. So this was a learning experience for me. And I love that. We talk about this, like we're all like music nerds. We love listening to stuff and exploring and experiencing new things. And that was definitely for me, and as always, got a lot to say about a couple of different songs here. And one thing I will say about this band that I love, Zeus, that you already hinted at, is I absolutely love, like Kiss, like the Beatles, I love different lead vocalists that do different things when they sing.
The Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. The Eagle, because that a David Ruffin song is not a Paul Williams song, and it's not an Eddie Kendricks song. They're completely different songs in one band, and I love that. So,
yeah,
James.
That's a great point. Yeah, great point, Tom. So I go back with the Temptations. I had Eddie Kendricks. Keep on trucking, baby.
Yep.
You guys remember that? I had that single, and so that would have been 73. I go back with Motown. When I still lived in the Bronx, I wasn't even 10 years old because we moved in 72. We turned 10 that year. And I watched the Jackson 5 cartoon. Mm-hmm. So I was
yes. That's
constantly
amazing.
talking about the Jackson 5 all the time, cutting out they used to put plastic records in the back of Alphabet.
The cereal.
Thank you. Yeah. And I would cut those. And my father's like, you want a real record? So he got me Maybe Tomorrow, which is the first album I ever owned. I still have it in my collection. And Eddie Kendricks, like I said, when I was probably around 11, 12, that came out in 73, 74. And then when I started to get really into music and reading about it, the Supremes, Marvin Gaye, the Miracles, the Martha and the Vandellas, keep going, Stevie Wonder. And so I went out and got all the best ofs. But it's just like Creedence for me. I never think of Creedence Clearwater Revival as an album band. I put together my 300 favorite albums list for this podcast. You mentioned, thank you, Tom, at the beginning. And there's one Creedence record on there, but mostly they're all really good. But I think of Creedence, I think of the singles.
Yep.
And that's what I think of, with the Supremes or the Temptations, certainly. And I know all those songs, as Zeus said, but I don't know the albums. I don't see them as album acts.
I think too, James, if I can just quickly jump in, I think too, and maybe it's just me. I know you're a little bit older than us, but I also feel like that sometimes might be a product of the generation that we grew up. The way we consumed music is we grew up in like radio compilations, soundtrack. Like there's a ton of artists that I love where I don't know if I own any of their studio albums. You know what I mean? Because to us, they're like a singles, like greatest hits box set compilation type band. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. But there's bands like The Clash, for instance. Now, if you listen to The Clash, they're very much like the Beatles in the sense where they had a whole spate of singles, all singles that are not on records.
Yep.
Just like the Beatles have like 8 or 9 or 10 songs that were never on the albums.
Yeah.
And so I ended up buying the singles CD when that came out years ago, and just because I couldn't get those. But I think of the Clash as an album band, so it's weird. I don't think of the Temptations as an album band, and the only reason, as Zeus mentioned, I love Psychedelic Shack is that when I was in college, one of the guys I hung out with, huge fan of that record, and loved all black psychedelic music, like anything that was going in that direction,
Psychedelic Shack, that's where it's at.
Yeah, he had right. He had all that super psychedelic funk stuff, and quite frankly, that was probably one of the reasons why Prince was so. It got in my psyche so young, because I was like, he's doing this. That's what he's doing. He's combining that white kind of San Francisco rock sound, and he loved that whole Bay Area sound with the Motown / Chicago / inner city funk and soul. So, and I think Motown did that very well. But that's a good point, Tom. Not all the Motown stuff is stellar. It was definitely a factory. They were throwing stuff and seeing if it stuck to the wall. But I mean, the Temptations are beyond reproach. I mean, they're one of the great American bands, and their story is. I've read a book about them. I did not see that doc, although this is right. It was on all the time. I probably saw bits and pieces of it, but their story is fascinating. It truly is.
Did you ever read Otis Williams' book?
No, I did not.
Which is funny because, who tells history is he's telling his history, and that became the miniseries, but they did take shots at him.
Yeah.
He got to tell his story, but it's a fascinating book behind the scenes of Motown and what was going on and stuff. But you mentioned Motown. They had a production line. There's so much history behind it. The fact that it was in Detroit and the car manufacturing and the way Berry Gordy designed this. Here are my songwriters. Here are my acts. Here are my dancers. Here is the one fucking all-star band I'm going to have that's going to play on everybody's records, which is the most amazing thing that we haven't even talked about yet. Is the fucking music in the band that's on all these Motown. The funk is just insane how talented these guys are.
Yeah, people talk about the all those great studio cats, the Muscle Shoals guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Wrecking Crew out in L.A. that played on all those records, the Beach Boys records, but other stuff as well, and some Elvis stuff. And the Funk Brothers are right up there. I mean, one of the incredible. They played, and I have it in my notes, but I believe they played on 56 #1 songs.
That's sick.
Or top 5 songs or something in the soul, and 23 #1 songs on the Billboard charts. That's like Elvis plus the Beatles plus Slim Whitman, or whatever they used to say about Slim. That's incredible what these guys did. And not only were they playing on the hits, but they were innovating the instruments. James Jamerson, one of the great.
Oh yeah, I was just going to bring him up. One of the greatest, if not the greatest bassist of all time.
No question about it. And Paul McCartney is lauded, and well he should be, for his melodic, incredible bass. His bass lines are never just rote. They're their own melody. It's almost like a second song.
They're awesome.
He got it all from James Jamerson, all of that. And some of his stuff I just wrote about him, and I'm doing a series for my Profound Musique for Black History Month on all the great. And I didn't want to just do the normal, although I do have Aretha Franklin, Jimi Hendrix, and that. But I put James Jamerson in there because he needs to be remembered for all the work all those guys. And I have them in my notes. We'll talk about it as we go through the record. But I mean, the Funk Brothers are, another level. Really.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I believe what we do next is we talk about the album cover.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a picture of a woman looking up through like a rain, like a window that's not clear.
It looks like a picture that J.J. Evans drew on Good Times.
Yeah.
It looks like she might be in the shower.
Or it looks like she might be looking up at.
Yeah, it's got her hands on her face and these like things coming down.
She might be looking up. She might be looking up at David Ruffin for all we know. I don't know. Like.
And then, you get the background cover of Dr. Dre and the rest of the band there.
It's such a great picture.
Those guys are so cool, man.
It's such a great picture.
So
the album cover is, I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but I mean, the album is so
Very
Zeus,
60s. Very
Zeus, I wanna-
late 60s, Tom. Very
it is.
late
It's,
60s.
and it's they're starting to enter that psychedelic phase. But Zeus, I want to ask you something. As this is your band, you picked the album. So I've seen this. So is the name of the album With a Lot of Soul, or is the name of the album The Temptations with a Lot of Soul? I don't.
The album is The Temptations with a Lot of Soul.
Wow.
That's what. Okay,
Nice.
that's what I thought. Okay, because I've seen it. A lot of places have it written like that instead of like With a Lot of Soul by The Temptations. That's the full, which
Right.
is weird.
That's funny because I always say, we all do it. We always say Kiss Alive. Kiss
Yes.
Alive. But it's
Yep.
not. It's
Nope,
alive.
it's alive. That's
By
such
Kiss.
a great point. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love Kiss Alive. Well, yeah, I love Kiss Love Gun.
I've never heard anyone just say alive. Have you got alive?
Never.
Think
Never.
about it this
Yeah,
way. The next
never.
album is The Temptations in a mellow mood.
Ooh.
Right? I mean,
They had to make sure that nobody got them confused with the other band that did In a Mellow Mood. Like,
yeah, I don't know. So
Very good.
the album cover is what it is. I don't understand it, but
no.
to each their own.
Yep.
The Temptations with a Lot of Soul was released July 17th, 1967. It went up to US Billboard's number 7 for albums. It was produced, and this is my favorite part, by Norman Whitfield, Smokey Robinson, Brian Holland, Lamont Dozier, Frank Wilson, Ivy, Joe Hunter. And if you know something about Motown, and that is the big acts had their big producers and songwriters. And those producers and songwriters, remember we were talking about that they're kind of like a production line. Like here are the singers, here are the producers, here are the writers, here is the dancers, here's the musicians. Well, those producers each had almost like their pet band. And they were very, very, very protective of that. So that the big one there, the HDH, right? Holland, Dozier, Holland,
yep.
was all Supremes.
Yes.
And Whitfield was all Temptations. So that they kind of, when they mingled a little bit, it was tension and there were fucking issues because certain artists, also producers and songwriters, did the Four Tops.
I was going to say,
you're not
Four
doing
Tops
that.
is right in there. Yep.
And the Temptations.
Yeah.
You keep them apart. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on. This was the 5th studio album by the Temptations. It's their most successful with the Classic 5 that we mentioned.
No kidding.
The US it made it to Billboard number 7 on the charts. And to me, this is typical classic David Ruffin Temptations. So let's get into the tracks. And track 1, here we go.
So we start off with I Know I'm Losing You. So right off the bat, again, I went into this album blind. I know the Temptations, but I don't know this album. Right off the bat, I'm hooked. This is hitting me the way I want to be hit. First of all, that intro, that bit, I'm like, now I'm a big hip hop guy, huge. I've been listening to rap since I was like in the 6th grade. I don't know how this isn't, how has this not been sampled? When I heard that beginning with like, I'm like, this
Wait a
should
minute,
be.
you didn't know this song?
Never.
Get the fuck
Wow,
out of here.
wow.
Never.
You've never heard I'm Losing You?
Not
even
by
the
Rod
Rod
Stewart, The
version?
Faces? No.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
So I know. So
That's so cool, man.
I'm going to send you down a rabbit hole
no.
later.
So this is why it's so cool.
That is.
I don't know how I've gone this long without knowing this song because I couldn't. This is gonna totally screw up my Spotify metrics because I was playing this song non-stop. First of all, David Ruffin, Zeus, you said it before. Phone book voice.
Yeah.
I could let this guy read the directions on the back of a Betty Crocker cake mix box because I want to hear it.
Ooh, grab those chocolate chips.
I mean, but his vocals and then horns. This song just ties in together everything I love, like funk, jazz, soul, R&B. It's got it all. It's such a great song, and it pulled me right in. I'm like, all right, I'm all in. I'm all in, and I fucking love this song. What a revelation! And I feel like when I saw the title, I'm like, oh, I think I know this. I heard it. I don't think I know this, and it's just fun.
Didn't like you? Are you sure? You probably have heard this somewhere in the background.
Maybe,
Like,
but in terms of like tapping into my memory, no. But what amazing, James.
Yeah, listen, it's a great album opener. Of course, as Zeus and I were telling you, I came to know this song through I don't even know. You tell me, Zeus, is it The Faces or Rod Stewart. It's
Rod
all a
Stewart
blur.
with Faces or something
Okay,
it
it
was
is
called
with
at the
Faces,
time.
yeah.
But it's on his like greatest hits too, I think.
It's also on their live album,
on
which
that-
is very underrated. The
Yeah.
Faces live album, Coast to Coast. It's a perfect Faces song because that opening riff sounds like they wrote it. In fact, when I first heard it, I didn't know it was a Temptation song. Just like the first time I heard "Ain't Too Proud to Beg" by the Stones, I knew just My Imagination was a Temptation song, also covered by the Stones on Some Girls in '78. But this one I didn't, so I couldn't believe it. I was like, did they write this for the Faces? Because it sounds like a Faces song.
Right.
It's got a slithering, bluesy sound to it. The horn breakdown in this version is excellent.
It's incredible. It is incredible.
It really is, and it really is one of my favorite tracks of all time by the band. I think the Temptation. This is the perfect way to open this record.
All right, I know, in parentheses, I'm losing you. Cornelius Grant, Edward Holland Jr., and Norman Whitfield. Norman's their main guy. So Holland, from Holland, Dozier Holland, he's one of the brothers. He actually wrote a bunch of songs there. They took him away. They're like, you ain't coming as a team, but you can come here and write some stuff with us. This went to number 8 on Billboard. It went to number 1 on R&B. It's the first single. I can tell you a million times over why I fell in love with the Temptations, but then if you play this, it's easier to just tell you why. Just play this.
Yep.
And that opening riff, and when he goes into "'Cause your touch is gone cold." If you ever see them perform this live, the band is doing their own thing, dancing around him, and they start clapping to the rhythm behind it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's separate instrument. If you ever watch this live, it is so fucking awesome. There's 2 perfect versions that I want you people to go down a rabbit hole and watch if they like this song. They're both on Ed Sullivan Show. The first is one, you'll see the YouTube clip. It starts with My Girl, and then they get into this. And when they get into this, the dancing they do, this stuff, this is when David Ruffin was doing that patented David Ruffin move. When they do that horn breakdown, and before he comes back, he takes the mic, puts it behind his back, does the twirl, falls down his knees, throws his mic up, and then catches it and hits it in stride.
Badass.
It is so fucking cool looking.
Yeah.
And you're just, and to me, you're like, oh yeah, what? No, you tell me who was doing that in 67 and 66. Nobody was fucking doing that shit.
Look, James
he
Brown,
was
maybe.
the
That's about it.
coolest motherfucker out there.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
that smooth, and his vocals on this. I mean, this song is just, you could have called it pleading for your woman, because that's all these songs are. He's always hurting. He's always been like, oh, I fucked up. Come on, baby. Please don't leave me.
It's pretty much the whole album.
Yeah. But it works because he's got such a soulful voice that it's incredible. The second version I was going to tell you about, which is like they could do a mini series on this one little clip on Ed Sullivan Show. So they combined, because Motown and Berry Gordy, they combined the Supremes with the Temptations, and they do this song. So Diana Ross is singing the beginning of this, and she's singing it, and she's in the forefront, and the Supremes are on the left dancing to it, the Temptation on the right dancing to it. But because the story goes that she can't sing in that key, they slowed it down or sped it up. They did something to it and changed it just so she can do it, because that was his girlfriend at the time. And apparently the Temps and Ruffin were pissed. So you'll watch this performance, and then all of a sudden after her verse is done, Ruffin walks up to the front. She's supposed to go back with the Supremes, but she's not. She's dancing in front. And he just kind of dances, comes up to her, kind of fucking a little like, get the fuck out of my way, sings, and he's killing it, and then hits this fucking note. If you watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Hits this note and is basically like, try that, bitch. And fucking the band behind him is dying laughing, singing. Even the Supreme girls are fucking loving it. And if you read the comments, it's all about everybody saying, holy shit, he just shoved her in a fucking locker. And they talk about the story because there is still that rivalry within those bands. And the whole Berry Gordy's dating Diana Ross, which they ended up making it that fucking Broadway. Dreamgirls. Very based on that kind of shit.
Right.
So this song is meant for a David Ruffin vocal.
Yes.
He just fucking kills this. The lyrics, the vocals, the music. It's R&B at its best.
I was going to say that, in the canon of Holland Dozier Holland, and I've said this many times, I wrote a whole piece about there are no happy police songs. Well, there are no happy Holland Dozier Holland songs. Every Supreme song is pain, longing.
Oh, Love Child? Fucking left alone, I'm a love child.
It's just one sad sack story after the other.
Which is funny, James, when you bring that up, because to the people that aren't like the music nerds like us, when you think of Motown, you're like, oh, these songs are happy. The guys are all dancing, bright, upbeat choruses and vocals and lovey-dovey. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, no, you pay attention. That ain't happening.
That's not what's happening in these songs.
No. Yeah, I love that when you can juxtaposition the music being happy. That's what I love about the Police, too. It's like everything's like boppy and ska. And then these songs about like suicide and everything's going to hell. Yeah,
it's true.
Well, if you people want to understand the point we're trying to make, let's go to song title number 2.
Ain't No Sun Since You Been Gone. Okay, another one. Now, again, I've never heard any of these songs before, so I'm a Temptations rookie on this album. This song right here is so awesome. A couple things I picked up with new ears. So, first of all, again, David Ruffin, the guy is just a revelation. But when he gets to the point, the lyric, when he's like, a minute into the song, he's like, when he says "one day out of the clear blue sky," that vibe right there. A couple things I'm hearing. I'm hearing like a little bit of like almost Superfly, like real funk, and soul, not the typical R&B, not the typical Motown sound you would hear. It's very like Isaac Hayes, like there's funk going on there. And the other thing too is I'm hearing it. I'm driving the car. I'm hearing it. I'm like, this is the kind of song that I would expect to play while they're rolling Tarantino end credits at the end of one of his movies. Like it just sounds like one of those songs that you would hear.
Yeah.
And then the background vocals that add so much weight to what's going on. I mean, right now I'm just 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Right now. It's just I'm 2 for 2. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Yeah, this song for me, it just misses the mark a little bit. Everything you said, Tom, is absolutely true. And I think we're going to get redundant when we talk about the Temptations. The background vocals are always absolutely gorgeous. And the arrangement of them are pristine. For me, I think this is a very derivative song. I know it was also written by Norman Whitfield and Eddie Holland, who wrote Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And I'm sorry, I hear Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Yeah.
In that riff, and so a little derivative. There are songs I like better than this. It does have that classic. You just talked about it. The 88 beats per minute, 4 on the floor, classic. There are 2 types of Motown songs, beats per minute, 88 and 120. They go, every one of them would do that. And they did it on purpose. They did it like Zeus says, it was a factory. They just got it flowing. That had, even if someone came in with a song with 68 beats a minute or 92 beats a minute, they're like, okay, get out the metronome. We got to get it to this point. And that sounds a little bit like that for me. Yeah. But a great song nonetheless. I mean, not so much. It's a solid song. I think Ain't Too Proud to Beg is better.
Yes.
But
I
just think that, like you said, the vocal arrangements and, of course, the lead vocal on here, Ruffin's vocal is just, it's spectacular. And you said it before. He could sing the dictionary. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So Ain't No Sun Since You've Been Gone. When I first got this, I was like, oh, they did a version. Because, Motown, anytime there was an album release, like 5 or 6 acts would do the same song.
Right.
So I thought it was that
Bill Withers.
No sun since she's been, or whatever the hell that song
Bill
is.
Withers. Sunshine when she's gone.
Yeah. So this was written by Cornelius Grant, Sylvia Moy, and Norman Whitfield. The musicianship is off the track. The fucking bass line on this. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about bass
to me, I think this is like the rockiest, like a rock band could fucking kill this.
Yes, I agree.
This is more of like a rock song kind of, but I agree with you, funk. And I'm like, another woman doing David wrong. And his patenting woo that he does
Yeah.
is so fucking smooth when he hits those notes. And the backing vocals and it's just fantastic. And as I said, I love the yeah.
Yep.
Fucking great. It's song number 2, and that's what you would call a deep cut. This one coming up, maybe not so. Song number 3.
So we have All I Need. Now, James previously mentioned derivative. Now, to me, this is derivative. Derivative doesn't necessarily mean bad.
No.
Okay. It just means that this song is just a different version of like You Can't Hurry Love.
There you go.
It's that song. However, it has David Ruffin singing it and the fantastic background vocals that we talk about. Super bright, super sunny, kind of hard to listen to this song and kind of not have a smile on your face, even if it's subconscious. So I like that after the 2 kind of heavy, kind of soulful songs that we got at the beginning. This is a nice change of pace. But again, when I hear this is kind of what I think of with Motown, that textbook Motown groove. Doesn't make it bad, but it's just that to me, they're just not doing anything new, but I still think it's a nice song.
Yeah, it's the 20 beats a minute one.
There you go, James. Yeah.
It's You Can't Hurry Love.
That's all it is.
And listen, Doja Holland did this a lot too. They found the formula. And listen, everybody did this. The Beatles did it. The Stones did it. You find a formula. I always joke about I can't get no satisfaction. The next song is Get Off My Cloud. It's not the same thing. It's like Get Off My Cloud is like a B version of that. But what Mick and Keith were doing there is they said, okay, they like that. Let's try to give them this. And eventually the Beatles were one of the first bands to say, no, you're getting this now. We're done with that. But not in Motown. And Motown is going to hover above this record, as it will all of the albums that their artists make. And Zeus has already brought up 4 or 5 points that lead you to that. The same musicians, the same producers, the same songwriters. So you're going to get that. But I will say on a positive note, and again, not that this is derivative, You Can't Hurry Love is bad, as Tom said. My favorite part of this whole song, though, is Eddie Kendricks' high vocal part at the open.
Yeah, it's nice.
Listen to that again. It's just so beautiful. The two of those guys together are like perfect together.
I'm going to jump in and tell you, he sings, "Forgive this fool, my darling."
Yeah.
For years, I was trying to find it because when you look up the lyrics, they wouldn't have that. I found it finally. And it's him singing that, "Forgive this fool, my darling."
Oh, I love that.
And then he jumps right on in, right? And he does it second time towards the end.
Right. Yep.
All I Need by Frank Wilson, Edward Holland Sr., and R. Dean Taylor. Frank Wilson is like a protege of Norman Whitfield. So it's a rarity that he would let him touch his temptations. But anyways, it went to number 8. Number 2 on R&B was the second single. You know, we're kind of punishing this song for being similar to an all-time great song like You Can't Hurry Love.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not a second. What's the song I'm thinking of? What's that horrendous song off of?
Could be anything. You could be mentioning anything right now.
It's not all right. Fine. For me, I'll say it's not a second coming of Shandy, right? Okay. It's not like hey, let's call this one Sandy instead of Shandy. Like it's not that. It's a great version. The beat's the same. You can hurry love.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I need, right? It's the same thing. It's just, but it's still a soulful, beautiful, and I put Motown in parentheses song. Very Supreme's You Can't Hurry Love. One of the few actual singles released that was not done by Norman Whitfield. Mm-hmm. And they actually performed this on the Ed Sullivan Show too. And then there's a great line towards the end where he ups his game because, you know, he always has to plead for his love.
Yeah.
Undo the wrong I've done. Undo. Yep. He repeats that line twice. It's just so awesome and so passionate in his vocals. I mean, he moves me every time he sings. It's just off the charts for me. Anyway, that's track 3. Let's go to track number 4.
All right, we got Loneliness Made Me Realize It's You That I Need. Do they have any song titles that are like one or two words?
Yeah.
Like,
And then why do you need the parentheses?
everything's got parentheses. Yeah, exactly.
Why can't it just be "It's You That I Need"?
Right. So again, we got David Ruffin here, but this is a little bit different. I feel like he's a little bit more resigned to the fact that he kind of is like, all right, I'm alone and I'm a little bit of a loser because I realize that I need you really bad. Like, it's good. I like it. I think the tone of his vocals add, I think, the weight to the song that it kind of needs. This song wouldn't work with any of the other kind of vocal tones that the Temptations offer later on this album. So I like the song. I like there's a part, when he comes out and he says, "Oh girl, I just can't take it no more." And normally those lyrics would be like cookie cutter lyrics, but the passion he puts into it and the tone, the kind of the broken tone of his voice, just you believe what he's saying. So it's a good song.
Gentlemen, this is all about James Jameson's bass.
Yes,
the bass line in here is so sick. It's its own song.
Yep.
If you want to know what makes James Jameson so great and how he influenced every damn bass player, it's its own song. That's all I have to say. While we're on James, I just want to mention, we did mention the Funk Brothers, but they are as follows: keyboardist Earl Van Dyke, who plays a great piano part in the later song. I mentioned him. Guitarist Joe Messina and Robert White, and especially drummer and percussionist, because he plays some congas on this record, Jack Ashford. Those four guys or five guys are just so amazing on this one song. But James Jameson's bass line, this song begins and ends for me with that. I also love, again, the background vocals on this. And I believe, does Eddie Kendricks take a lead at the end? I think he does that as well.
I'll get to that part.
He does. Yeah. No. I'm sorry.
Oh, he does.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Loneliness Made Me Realize It's You That I Need by Edward Holland Jr. and Norman Whitfield. It was their fourth single. It went to number 14 and number 3 on R&B. It's one of the rare songs before Cloud 9, because once I almost call him Dennis Green. No, Dennis Edwards joins the band.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, the Vikings, right? The Vikings, very good.
Vikings, former Vikings head coach joined the Temptations.
Yeah, he probably could. He's got a great voice.
They're all like fit, good-looking guys and dressed the same, sparkling suits, and this fucking
Dennis Green comes out
in the middle. With the new track, they are who we thought they were, whatever the fuck he said.
See, James, this is why you tune in.
It really is.
Where are you going to go from Eddie Kendricks and David Ruffin to Dennis Green?
Vikings. Anyways, it's one of the rare songs before Cloud 9 that they technically have 2 lead singers or more sing lines. And you're like, no, they don't. This is really David Ruffin. At the end, It's You That I Need. They all 4 of them, the other singers, take turns ad-libbing some lines. So they credit them as, all 5 singers are on this song, which to me, I love, which makes that song, you wanted the best, you got the best off that horrendous Psycho Circus album. Cool, because you got all 4 singers singing a track, which is very rare. And just the background vocals on this, I Need You, Baby, Baby, I Need You, constantly going in the background while Eddie is singing, is fantastic. And then Ruffin is doing his patented ooh shit, that it's just awesome. And then they all start saying, It's You That I Need. And then they all come in and do their own little version of that part at the end. Again, just vocal brilliance and
great track,
great production, just all around. I mean, you can see how all these hands are around to make this work.
Yeah. No, it's true. And for the record, also, I called Bernie Sanders for years Barry Sanders every time. I barely.
I can
We're gonna go for the 1,000-yard rushing title.
I just couldn't stop myself. It just Barry Sanders is just, if you're going to be named Sanders, your first name better be Barry.
The liberal senator from Vermont, Barry Sanders,
or Colonel.
Yeah, there you go.
Colonel.
What is Colonel Sanders' first name though? Does anybody know?
Does he have one?
Listen,
I don't know.
Barry.
Yeah, right there it is. Yeah.
But anyways, let's go to the next track.
All right, we go to No More Water in the Well.
Can I add that Tom sang that song to me title at least 20 times before we had to talk about this album?
No more water in the well. I love it. It's a great song.
So
I love again, you kind of get a little psychedelia here, the organs, that background stuff.
Yeah.
You got the vocal. We changed it up here. We got Paul Williams doing the vocals, very like gospel style song. Like I love David Ruffin, but his vocals are great. This is definitely a little bit more of a darker, quote unquote, darker type song, I think. Painful, emotional. These guys, again, another vocal performance that brings weight to the lyrics. You know, they're not just singing songs; they're making you feel what they're singing. And again, I really like the organ and that kind of like that. Again, that kind of like gospel-y kind of church vibe that he's conveying here, whether that was intentional or not. But I think it's a very cool song.
Yeah, it's a blues gospel song.
Yeah.
But the great thing about it is it's the most un-Motown song maybe on this record. I think there's one other song on here. But it still has a lot of... I see that Smokey Robinson is one of the songwriters listed here. There's about 6 of them or whatever. But my point is that I'm thinking that they may have had to give him credit because this does sound like a very early Miracles tune. I don't know if you guys think that, but there's a sense of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles in this.
All right, I'll jump in here.
Okay.
So Smokey used to do a lot of the early pre-David Ruffin Temptation stuff. They would throw things against the wall. He was the big writer and producer and doing stuff for them and trying to get them. And if you listen to disc 1 of the box set, you'll pick up why this is it. Paul Williams was technically their lead singer until what's his name came in. Which probably led to a lot of his unfortunate alcoholism and depression and his untimely death. But he was the main singer. So he's got a great voice.
Yeah, it's great. It is awesome.
Smokey used to work with them. They're all friends. And this sounds like, to me, when I get to my part, I said this sounds like early Temptations.
Yeah.
So in No More Water in the Well, written by Warren Moore. I almost said Warren Moon.
I thought you were going to say Warren G.
So now we got Dennis Green, Barry Sanders, and Warren Moon.
Oh, welcome to your Tecmo Bowl 1990s roster discussion.
Yeah. They're all in the Temptation.
Tecmo Bowl reference. Oh my God.
Warren Moore, not Warren Moon. Smokey Robinson and Bobby Rogers, not to be confused with Rodney Rogers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I thought Jam.
I thought you were going to say Bobby Rock. Like he was Motown.
Rodney Rogers.
Jesus.
As I said, one of the few Paul Williams leads vocals since Ruffin came into the band, and I put early type of Temptation song, hence Smokey. And that's what it seems like. And you're right. That's why this didn't sound like the Motown, You Can't Hurry Love, All I Need type of Motown or the soulfulness of David Ruffin.
So can I ask you a question, Zeus, being the resident Temptations guy? Why would a guy like Paul Williams, there's 12 tracks on this album. Paul Williams has essentially one lead vocal. Why?
Dude, listen to Eddie Kendricks sing. He's about as good as a singer as David.
No, I know. Oh,
but I'm saying, like, they found the formula.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah, no, I know.
And they put even Eddie Kendricks in the back burner.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is when Dennis Green joins the band, now they start spreading it out. And now you get tracks like Cloud 9, I Can't Get Next to You, and things like that, where there's 3 or 4 guys and they're all bouncing lines off each other. Papa Was a Rolling Stone has 3 or 4 different lead singers. Like, then they collectively we can do this. We'll switch it up more. With Ruffin, they're like, why are we going anywhere else?
True.
It's kind of like the Eagles. We're all singing. Dude, we have Don Henley in the band. I'm sorry, Glenn. You're getting one song an album now. Like,
makes sense.
That's what ended up happening to me. Once My Girl hit, it was Ruffin. That's once that hit.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Soul Stirrers when Sam Cooke showed up. They had all these lead singers of that got the great gospel group, the Soul Stirrers, and then Sam Cooke showed up, and they were like, "Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
exactly. What are we doing?
Yeah, what
Sam
are we
Cooke's in
doing?
this band."
Right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next track.
Save My Love for a Rainy Day. So now we get Eddie Kendricks here. And again, to me, this is kind of what I think of when I think of a lot of like Motown stuff. You get that falsetto, that Smokey Robinson and the Miracles vibe. Now, again, I'm not a Motown expert by any stretch, but when I hear a song like this, I would never guess that this is the Temptations. I would probably think it was Smokey Robinson just because I don't have an ear for Motown the way that some other people do, like you guys do.
And they sing similar falsetto, Eddie Kendricks and Smokey Robinson's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very similar. To me, this is, and I know we've used the word before. I know it has a kind of a derogatory, connotation to it, but derivative kind of like it's got that upbeat, that bright vibe, that falsetto vibe, that Smokey Robinson and the Miracles vibe. Doesn't make it bad, but for my taste, I prefer the soulful kind of deeper vocals on this album. Good song. To me, it's kind of like that textbook Motown song that most people are probably more familiar with.
Yeah, there's another killer bass line by James Jamerson.
Yeah.
The first Eddie Kendricks real lead vocal on this record. I think this might be the best chorus on the album.
It is great. Yeah.
I love how it just takes off. Whereas the verses kind of lay out, and they allow Kendricks to kind of fill that high register with his the falsetto, as you guys mentioned, and let Kendricks just do his thing, and then the whole group comes in, like the Funk Brothers and the background vocals of the Temptations doing the Temptation thing. I think this is one of the best songs on this record.
Okay.
So Save My Love for a Rainy Day, Roger Penzabine or Bean or something like that, Norman Whitfield, Eddie lead vocal. I'm like typical awesome falsetto, very Supremes Motown type of song. So Eddie Kendricks for me is hit and miss. He's got a beautiful voice, but because he's got a beautiful voice, it doesn't always make a great song. To me, David Ruffin has a beautiful voice, but he can make anything kind of work for me. There's some Eddie Kendrick songs that just don't work, but then there are some that you're like off the charts. To me, Just My Imagination, Get Ready, and there's one more that comes up. This is a good song, but it doesn't move me. It's one of those like good instrumentation, good vocals, decent lyrics. Yeah, it's a good song. But if you played 15 like this, is it going to stick out to me? No, not for me. I like it, but let's move on. Next track.
So if you're listening to the LP here, we flipped the record here. We're on to side 2. We got Just One Last Look. Great tune here. I'm a big fan of this one. I like the vibe. It's not super slow. It's not super upbeat. We're back to David Ruffin here. I really like kind of the tone of the song and kind of what he's asking for with the title. Give me just one last look. Love the tambourines. When I hear this song, it's almost like it's got like a happy kind of groove, but there's almost like a melancholy vibe to it as well. So there's a lot going on here, and I think that's what was kind of unexpected for me as going into an album like this. Like, to me, I'm thinking like this is just factory pump out the Motown tracks. Everything's going to sound the same. But I didn't know a lot about this, to be honest with you.
So this one sounds different and seems different to you?
A little bit.
One track?
A little bit.
Yeah,
why?
because it's HDH did this.
Well, there you go. Well,
this is one of the only times that they were allowed to play with the Temptations. It's the Supremes group production team that came in and is like, do this.
So that's what I was going to say, because the tempo, we've talked about this, James, the tempo of this track, if you turn this up a notch, it's probably another You Can't Hurry Love, but they slowed it down enough to give it a kind of a vibe that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, this is Holland Dozier, Holland doing their thing. You mentioned it, melancholia over a good solid beat, well arranged, as Zeus said, produced in the way that they do things. These guys could do no wrong for Motown. I mean, I want to take a second to just name just some of the songs that they wrote. Heat Wave, Martha and the Vandellas, Where Did Our Love Go, Baby Love, Come See About Me, the Supremes, all the Supreme songs. Baby, Where Did Our Love Go? It's the same old song. Reach Out, I'll Be There. Four Tops. How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, maybe my favorite early Marvin Gaye tune. These guys, we're talking about dozens of songs. So when they went in to do, Zeus is right, when they went in to do something, everybody threw the baby out with the bathwater. It didn't matter. And that's why it's so hard to listen to some of these Motown records, albums, because they don't have like, say, the way a rock album has a sort of thematic thread. It's just like whoever's producing this, whoever's playing on this, they're going to back it up and the Temptations are going to sing it. And since they didn't write a lot of their songs, they, just like Elvis or Frank Sinatra, they had to interpret them, which I think is a great art form. But it does make for very unevenness. And I think we're pointing that out about this record. And again, I don't want to say uneven in a bad way. I'm not saying that pejoratively at all, because sometimes it's great. We talked about this with Kiss. I like the fact that Kiss has 4 or 5 different albums with different, you don't know what the hell they're doing. I love that.
Right.
I really dig the production and arrangement of this all the way across. And of course, I mentioned Earl Van Dyke. His piano part there is really cool. And of course, Temptations background vocals. It's a tour de force of background vocals on this.
So it's almost like you're taking and making a fucking supergroup.
Yeah.
Supergroup writers, supergroup instrumentation. And then you're like, okay, I need to get a superstar band to sing this with vocals. Okay, grab the Temptations, grab this songwriting team, grab this band. Let's put them together and see what happens. And they just fucking did it constantly. So when you think of music and the music that we love and popular music, you could almost say like HDH could be a top 10 of all time.
Top 5.
Probably. I was going to say probably higher than top 10 just based on what they've done.
So you're not just saying, oh, Elvis, Prince, Madonna.
Right.
You know, no, you're putting that team in Motown and what they've did, and that's why when we did Musical Geniuses, and I'm like Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson could do everything in the middle of like producing other acts for Motown. He sang, danced, wrote, played instruments, like he did fucking everything. He was he
ran the label. He ran the label with Barry.
Barry Gordy. Barry was too busy burying his face into Diana Ross, but he was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
like these people are beyond genius. Anyways, just one last look by Edward Holland Jr., Lamont Dozier, and Brian Holland. So, this, like, if they could have done a fucking documentary just on this album, between all the fucking hotheads arguing about the stupidest fucking shit and possession and just, no, that's mine. No, that's my act. No, you can't touch this song. All right, I'll let you do this. Both the Four Tops and the Temptations recorded this song. Both of them. And both wanted to release them as singles.
Yeah.
And both were refrained from doing it because they were all pissing on each other's legs. So the Temptations are like, fine, we won't release as a single, but we'll put it on the album. And the Four Tops did this, and they only put it in like some album they did later on, like a retrospective, like 20, 30 years later, it went on. Like these great versions of this song, and because everybody's too busy pissing on each other, like nobody got this. It's such bullshit. But this is what was happening behind him because the producers having like pissing contests with each other.
Yeah, that would be a great book.
Nothing got released.
Yeah, I tell you, that would be a great book. Is that going through all the songs that were recorded by 2, 3, in some cases 4 different Motown acts, and either putting it as a single or a B-side or on the album. There was a lot of that going on in Motown for sure.
Yeah, like just because, like I said, I have this fucking album here, and I'm like, oh, that's a Temptation. I'm like, no, that actually wasn't his song. There was another band song. Oh yeah, they did the song War. Wait a minute, that's not their song. Right? That's somebody else's
Psychedelic Shack. Yeah.
Right? There's like a million versions of the same song. Everybody did it. It's just what was going on there. And so all of them were fighting. HDH, Norman Whitfield, Berry Gordy, and all them. So they're like, fuck it, no one's going to play it. And I just put this as just another typical Ruffin, pleading, passion, awesome song. It just, I can't explain it. It just, the rhythm, the vocals, the phrasing he uses, it works. It works.
Yep.
All right. Next song.
We go to Sorry is a Sorry Word. So So
This is depressing shit.
yeah. Now, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, the only thing that really saves this song for me is the vocal performance is out of this world,
It sure
out of
is.
this world
It sure
vocally.
is, yeah.
But I really, honestly don't like the song itself. This is the first one where I'm like, I don't really like what they're doing here, structure-wise, song-wise. The vocals again, so much passion and energy behind what he's singing again, but the song itself, not great for me, James.
Yeah, if I started chiming in there while you were saying
No,
that,
please.
Tom, but
I want you to get excited.
My head was exploding. Hey, that's the first line I have here. Excellent lead vocals by David Ruffin.
It's incredible.
And it's so true because Zeus had brought this up at the very beginning when he pitched this idea to talk about this album. And he's like, all you got to know is David Ruffin is at his absolute peak here. And this is an example of a guy. And we talked about this when we talked about the Rod Stewart album. And it's like sometimes the song's just not that great, but Rod's doing a great job trying to sell it.
Yeah, so true.
It's very 1967. This song, it's almost very dated. A lot of these songs, I think, if someone did it now, it would still be a hit. Some of these songs on here, or at least the style of it. But this is very 1967, very psychedelic Shack. It's so funny. Zeus just mentioned that. And that's really the only thing that's holding it back. But David Ruffin is just keeping it together because he is so amazingly good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So sorry is a sorry word. Edward Holland Jr., Ivy Joe Hunter. I love that they keep repeating, remember me. And then he sings the song.
Yeah, it's cool.
That repetitive remember me. Typical soulful David Ruffin stuff. I mean, there are times where I could group All I Need, Just One Look. Sorry is a sorry word. Because all these, I think, were all on the box set. So I knew these all. And they're all the same David Ruffin pleading song. So I'm like, which one do I think he's more like? But I like this song. It might be the third of those three songs, but I still like it. It's David Ruffin. And I like the repetitiveness of Remember Me stuff. So pretty good song. Yep. Let's go to the next song, please.
You're My Everything. So we have a very nice, very beautiful falsetto ballad here that, again, we always have to have our pop culture references when we do Shout It Out Loudcast. Zeus, you're going to get this. James, I'm sure you will too. But when I heard this song, all I could think about, and this is not an insult, this is not all I could think about was that scene from Coming to America when the guy starts singing, she's your queen to be. I'm like, that's all I could think of. I'm like, and I'm like, I feel bad because I know this is like a serious song and I'm like minimizing it by being an idiot here. It's a good song. It's a beautiful ballad.
Is she free from infection.
Right. It's either that or it's a song that like George McFly would dance to at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. It's something like that. It's a nice song. I think it fits well on the track listing and the sequencing here. And I think the vocals are wonderful. Again, not exactly what I want to hear. I always say this is kind of not what I want to hear from the Temptations, even though the Temptations do this fantastic. It's a nice song.
I think it's Eddie Kendricks' best work on this record.
Yeah,
I
he
love
sounds
his
great.
Vocals. Yeah,
sounds great.
There's a couple of things going on in this song that I absolutely love. All right, so it's great that this is a case where we're talking about album sequencing, and I don't think of Motown artists as being album, orientated, but this is a perfect spot for this, especially after the weirdness of the previous track. Mm-hmm. The string arrangement in here is stellar. I don't know who arranged the strings, just absolutely beautiful. And then when Ruffin takes it on the bridge,
yep.
Holy mackerel.
Yep.
This is the Temptations at their best when they have Ruffin and Kendricks together in the same band. This is Paul McCartney and John Lennon when one guy is singing, we can work it out, and the other guy is saying, life is very short. It's time to get, one guy's personality comes out and the other guy comes in. One guy's taking a higher register. The other guy's taking more of the baritone, soulful. This is really great Temptations track. I really like this one.
Yep.
All right. So You're My Everything. It's the third single and went to number 6. Number 3 in R&B. It's written by Cornelius Grant, Roger Penzabene, and Norman Whitfield. Everything You Said and more. It's a rarity to to have these two go back and forth with lines.
Mm-hmm.
If this was just Eddie Kendricks singing "You're My Everything," I'd be like, oh, that's a good song. I like it. It's a good song. When fucking David Ruffin comes in,
Yeah.
and the difference between them, and it fucking gives me chills, especially the part where they both do it. And Eddie will say, baby, and he goes, babe. And he goes,
Yep.
baby, and he goes, babe. And then just, holy fuck.
Call and response, baby.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Yep.
When Eddie Kendricks is singing his part, it's fine, you're great. And then when Ruff comes in the middle, that's the part that I look forward to every. And then when that part's over, I'm like, oh, okay, back to normal again.
Yeah.
In the miniseries, there's a great scene in that. The Temptations are still doing their thing, but Kendricks and Ruff are out of the band, and Kendricks is singing this in some lounge act. And Ruffin is in the audience, so he comes out and sings it, and he makes all the fucking girls go crazy because he does his part. And at the end, they're hanging out, and they're like, that fucking sound we heard in that audience? That's a Temptations thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then next, they go on the road and do the Temptations act themselves. And now you got two Temptations act on the same time. So this isn't fake LA guns and real LA guns going on.
The Drifters.
This was the Temptations and
Yep.
another form of the Temptations, both
Yep.
out. But it's the two of the best Temptations singer at the same time. And I can't say enough about this. And this is probably one of the reasons I wanted this specific album, because it has this specific track. And this track to me is like the epitome of why I love the Temptations, between all the vocals going back and forth in this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only times it happens, and it's just so fucking cool.
Temptations
All
at their
right.
best.
Yep.
Let's go to the next track.
Now that you've won me, now this to me is ballad perfection, slow dance ballad perfection. The vocals are, I know broken record. We keep saying that. I don't care. I love this. I love the instrumentation too in the background. I just think this is really, really, really just a beautiful ballad. And this one caught me by surprise. With first time I heard, I was like, oh, that's nice. And then the more I listened to it, I was like, this really is a beautiful song. A big fan of this one.
Yeah, a Smokey Robinson tune.
Yep.
I would say, and check this out if you haven't heard it, Tom. Marvin Gaye's 1964 recording of this
Okay.
is another level. This is fine.
Yep.
They do a good job with this, and like we said, very incestuous in Motown. And one person does a song. Now this is
Yep.
3 years later, so it's not like right off the bat. So yeah, I mean, to me, it is absolutely, to echo your point, great song. I just think Marvin Gaye's version's better, but this is fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Let's go on a sidetrack. Is he your favorite Motown singer?
Ooh, more than Stevie? No. I would say Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
Stevie Wonder's your favorite.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I'm probably conflating with the fact that he's a genius songwriter, plays all the instruments, was Prince before Prince,
Yep.
produced all those records, that amazing run in the 1970s. But I love Stevie Wonder. There was a guy years ago who told me, another music writer, said, you know what Stevie Wonder reminds me of? He reminds me of every early or late 60s early heavy metal singers. With his melisma and the way he goes up, and there's a certain soulful / bluesy version of it. He goes, I feel like every heavy metal person is ripping Stevie Wonder off. That's
Interesting.
Going off
I like
off
that.
the
I like
beaten-
that though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did listen to guys like David Coverdale and things like that later on a little differently. But yeah, I mean, I think Stevie Wonder. What about you guys? Marvin Gaye would be right there. I mean, some of the shit that Marvin Gaye does, especially in the 70s, everything he does and what's going on is amazing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, just as a sidebar, it would be a razor sharp battle between Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye for me. I guess it would depend on my mood.
Zeus?
Yeah, for me, Stevie Wonder sounds to me like Elton John.
Yeah.
Both great singers. I don't think of them as singers. I think they're great because they're good singers singing fucking awesome songs.
Awesome songs. Yeah.
That they wrote. Do I think anybody else could have made those songs great? I don't think. The same thing with the Beatles. No offense. Could anybody else have sung their songs just as good, if not better? Probably. I don't think a song is made from Paul McCartney's vocals. And I don't think songs are made from Stevie Wonder's vocals or Elton John's. I think they're fucking good singers that sing great songs.
Great songs. Yeah.
And they made them. But I think, Marvin Gaye's in a class of Sam.
He's just
Cooke,
next level.
Otis Redding. Those guys are soulful singers. But to me, Ruffin's my favorite, and I think he's the best. He's the one that Michael Jackson said he used to copy, especially his stage moves.
Yeah.
David.
Oh,
Ruffin.
yeah.
And to me, I just think he is the rock star R&B guy. Just a fucking
I agree.
badass, fucking crazy man, soulful stage performer, and everything else.
And those glasses are fucking awesome.
That's what I mean. He's just so fucking cool. This tall, thin, good-looking guy with these fucking glasses, and he just does cool stage moves. And again, go watch that video with him and just fucking Heisman, Diana Ross. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You'll see what I mean.
Beat it.
But anyways, now that you won me, Smokey Robinson's song lyrics, I find this song to be pretty haunting.
Yeah.
A haunting R&B song. And I say more of a Sam Cooke to me. But nothing Ruffin sings is bad to me. He can make anything work, and I think this works. And I think anybody else kind of singing this song, just give it to anybody else, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. But I
didn't know it was on this record like almost everything else. And so when this popped up, I'm like, oh, hey, cool, the Marvin Gaye song.
Want to hear something funny? I didn't even know this was a Marvin Gaye song.
There you go. Right? There you go.
And I know most of Motown stuff. I have a bunch of Marvin Gaye, like greatest hits albums and things like that. I like his shit with Tammy Terrell.
Yeah.
Oh, she's awesome.
His duets.
She is oh God, I love her.
Until David Ruffin beat her upside the head too many times and fucking ruined her career too. That's another side story for something else, which is
that'll be a side cast.
The not so cool part of David Ruffin. But anyway, let's go to the next track.
People up.
Yeah. Oh,
Ruffin,
James.
Unintended.
James. Bravo. Oh man. We go to Two Sides to Love. I'm not going to lie here. This is, to me, this is the equivalent of when you're watching a movie and you're like, there's 20 minutes left in this movie? It's
That's actually a very good point.
That is very good.
It's
not
for this record, but just in general, whenever you're doing something, you're like, wait a minute, what?
20 minutes left? What?
Dude, this is me coaching a game.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, dude, we're only in the second period. What the fuck?
Right. I don't need the director's cut of With a Lot of Soul. Just give me the edit. Like it's not a bad song, but it's just to me. It's a little bit boring. I understand the vocals. To me, I'm starting to drift off here a little bit. It's just
you're doing the John Goodman when they're doing that.
My eyes are just involuntarily
blinking like many times. Like
yeah. Sorry, James.
I thought you were going here and you didn't go. But
go do it.
Tell me, you guys do not hear "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher in this song.
Oh yeah.
The beginning. Now that you said that, the instrument.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to what I said before about Ruffin. Kendricks saving this song, really singing his butt off on this. He did this. Yep. I think it's his second best lead on the record. Okay. The Funk Brothers really bringing it. Serving the song, not overplaying at all. And there's nothing fancy here. It's a cool soul. I don't know if you mentioned that, Thomas, soul, like another gospel-y thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But we already have better versions of that, to your point earlier on this record. So maybe was it needed? I don't know. I mean, they had to fill out. I mean, what's the longest song on this record? 309? I mean,
310. All I need is 310.
Everything else is 240.
I'm sorry. Now that you've won me, it's 312. That's the epic version.
Yeah. I mean, so they had to put songs on the, to make it a long player, as they say.
Yeah.
All right. Two Sides to Love, Sylvia May and Moy and Norman Whitfield. This is just, he's got an incredible falsetto. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's almost like, all right, what are we doing today? Okay, here are these two songs. You got to sing these songs for somebody. It's almost like he's coming in to do a demo for somebody.
Yeah.
Like, all right, what song do I have? All right, give me. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Like, there's nothing to it. It's just he's singing it, and he might mean it. He might do it, but I'm not a big fan of the song. I think this is reminiscent of early pre-David Ruffin Temptation songs. But you're like, wow, these guys are great. Why don't they have any hits? Because the songs aren't that good. That's why. And then all of a sudden Smokey's like, here's a song I got. Why don't you play this song? It's called My Girl. Oh, shit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Pre-David Ruffin. Anyway, last track. Here we go.
Don't Send Me Away. There's 20 minutes left in this movie? Okay, I love a good ballad. To me, here's the thing. We talk about this a lot. Track sequencing, track listing. It's a nice album. It's an enjoyable listen. To me, you're ending the album on a thud with two ballads that are so painfully ballady. They're not bad, but I think by this point, it's the 12th song. It's a beautiful song. I like the melody. I like the vocals, but by this point, you're asking a lot out of me to just stay on board. And I know that sounds like a terrible thing, but again, I'm not the Temptations guy. It's my first time listening to the album. It's not bad, but I don't know. Maybe if it was somewhere else in the album, I maybe would have paid a little bit more attention to it, but it's okay. It's not bad. It's painfully slow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, getting back to album sequencing, not the best. I think this is what they would call in the 1950s make-out music.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Otis Williams and Melvin Franklin, they get to close the album, which is cool. My favorite part of this song is that little bridge with the strings that sounds like something right out of the Nutcracker. You know what I'm talking about, Zeus? Yeah, and Tom. To me, that makes it very interesting. It's not interesting enough because, we've already been through this thing for 40 minutes. So, yeah. But I do think that's maybe if they put it somewhere else on the record, to your point, Tom, it might have been more, it might have jumped out more with us. But I think that part is really gorgeous. And James Jamerson, one more time, beautifully melodic bass line on this. It's if I can just freeze that or single that out, it has just a solo bass line. It sounds like another song. I'd like to make a song out of what James Jamerson is doing on this.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yeah, it is a slow way to go down, but I like the song a little more than Tom does.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So Don't Send Me Away, Eddie Kendricks, Smokey Robinson. You're missing the novelty of this.
What's that?
It's Otis Williams singing a song. He never sings lead vocal.
Yeah, no,
Good point. Yeah, I didn't even. I don't think I meant
the novelty of it. So this is
Yeah.
Bruce Kulick singing I Walk Alone, the last song in Carnival Souls. You've listened to Kiss for 20 years, and all of a sudden Bruce Kulick is singing a song. Oh, that's interesting. It's the last song on this new album. Okay, I'll listen to it. That's what this is.
It makes sense. That's fair.
Sings.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Melvin Franklin is singing on this too. Franklin.
Well, he's doing the whatever the fuck he's doing there. But when I got the box set and I started getting into them and stuff and listening, I'm like, oh, this one sounds different. Who's singing this? Because I didn't have look online and see, oh, this is Paul Williams singing this time. In the beginning, I had no idea who was singing what, except I knew who Eddie Kendricks was. I could pick his voice out. And there were times I didn't know what Otis Williams sounded like. I don't know if he sounds like David Ruffin. Are these all David Ruffin vocals? I have no idea. But I got into it when I learned that this is Otis's song. And it's a big deal for him personally, and he does do this version of this. It's interesting in that sense. If it wasn't him singing this and this was just there, I'd be like, And I'm still like, nothing special. But regardless, that's the last track. So I will just give you my overall thoughts on the album. I think that for me, there are incredible highs. Most of it is good. There's a couple that I'm like, oh, okay. But still, I'm not at the point that this is an album that I've ever been like, okay, skip that song. I'm more or less looking forward to a couple more tracks playing than a couple less tracks playing, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I think this is rough at his peak. I hope this is a gateway for people to give him a listen and listen to more of the Temptations. And you guys have to go see the miniseries, have to go see those 2 YouTube clips of him singing I Know I'm Losing You. And then I want to quote one thing that was from the movie, which is anybody sees the movie, it has like a cult following, the movie.
Yep.
There's the best line of it is when they Otis and Melvin approach Ruff to tell him, like, you know, his drugs and his bad habits, missing practice and warm-ups and stuff is hurting the band. So he says stuff like this. These are the lines that, if I can remember, I'm paraphrasing. I didn't look this up. It was something like, hurting the group. I'm the best thing that happened to this group. I'm the one selling the records. They're coming to see me. And then Otis goes, they're coming to see the Temptations. And he goes, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You wish you could work it like me, but you can't, because there's only one David Ruffin. And without David Ruffin, the Temptations are a band in search of a David Ruffin.
Oh, that's a great. It's such a great line,
dude. If you watch the movie, you're gonna be like, this guy is the baddest motherfucker, and he made me fall in love with him, and made me fall in love with his band. And this album is why we're here talking about this album today.
Yep, nice.
That should be a Zeus should do a one-man show.
There you go. I can react.
David Ruffin,
the Temptations.
Yep.
Tom, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, look, again, first experience ever listening to a Temptations album in full. I know the band fairly well, the hits, like most people do. Yeah, I mean, it's not the kind of album that I'm going to go back and listen to every day, or, you know, but it was a nice, pleasant. I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot of songs I like. Zeus said it. The highs for me are very high, songs that I'll come back to. The lows are songs that aren't bad, but they're just songs that, I know filler is a bad word, but maybe every band has it. But it was an interesting experiment listening to an album that I've never heard before from a band that I'm not too familiar with. So I liked it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Zeus had me listen to this, only because, you know, for me, again, I want to start to listen to more of the full albums of some of these acts that I consider really singles acts, and they are. You know, and there is a lot of filler on these things and a lot of repetitive, oh, this guy's singing this song. All right, that's really better. If that guy sang that song, that kind of stuff. But, you know, that's just putting, everything into a box. And that's one thing as a music writer I try not to do. That's what I loved about Prince and writing about him. You know, just don't make me one thing. I'm going to be anything I'd like to be. And so, again, thank you, Zeus. One thing I will say is I am going to send a mix of Stevie Wonder's best vocal performances to Zeus.
Yeah. All right.
Because
send it to me too.
I have a bunch of Stevie Wonder stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love his music.
But the idea that someone could sing this song, there's a couple of songs of his that he sings so beautifully that I don't care who's singing it, it's not going to be him. And same with the Beatles. I mean, you mentioned McCartney, but for me, really, it's when John and Paul sing together, those harmonies are, and I've heard people cover Beatles songs, they're like, yes, it's good. It is a good song. Yesterday's a great song.
I don't think anybody can take away what he's doing on Part-Time Lover. I mean.
Oh,
that is one of my favorite guilty pleasures. Like people make fun of like when Elton John did like 80s stuff and try to fit in. Ugh. Stevie Wonder's doing 80s stuff trying to fit in like Part-Time Love. I fucking love that song.
It's a catchy song.
I can't fucking help it. I love that song. And I'm embarrassed when you're like, what's your favorite Stevie Wonder song? So I'm like, oh, I can't say that song. But that is like probably my favorite song of his.
You were busting my chops there, but it turns out you were, giving it celebration. Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to rank these. So I can go first since this is my album.
Okay.
Two Sides to Love is 12.
Yep, I'll go next. That's the same for me. Two Sides to Love.
I have All I Need. I just think that Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Fucking on better. Crack.
Yep. Ah. It's a B version of Ain't Too Proud to Beg. It's the most derivative song on 2 or 3 derivative songs. We talked about it before. And no, I am not on crack.
On crack.
This was a sober
boy.
It was nice having you on, James. We'll see you next time.
Oh, stop. Come on.
What the fuck, dude? All right, don't send me away. 11.
Okay. I have Sorry is a Sorry Word at 11.
That title is just
sorry.
It's funny. My 11 is Ain't No Sun Since You've Been Gone. It's you
He's
can't.
fucking on a roll today.
I am. It's you can't.
Are you
hurry
sure
up.
it's not? I know I'm losing you. Is that it?
All
James is everything's derivative, so like it's put
It
to the
goes on the bottom.
I get
Yeah.
it. That's fair.
I was on a show called Ranking the Beatles, and this guy's got cover songs above like Tomorrow Never Knows. Come on,
Yeah.
dude. They're cover songs. You cannot put.
Why is that a good song or something?
Well, Tomorrow Never Knows is a great song. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
It is.
a Beatles song. You don't know Tomorrow Never Knows?
No, I know it. I'm just wondering if you're talking about the same song that I know.
Oh, okay. So you don't think that's a good song, is what you're saying?
Well,
that what
Tom
you're saying?
does. Tom is a huge Beatles fan. You know that.
I don't even know that song.
Okay. I could have picked anything. Okay. You know Hey Jude. I wrote a book about
Of
that. There you
course.
go.
Yes, you
All
wrote
right.
a wonderful book about it. Yes.
So thank you. So my point is that if it's a cut, if it sounds like a cut, if it's derivative, it's got to go lower down on my list. And
I get it. That's
Bill
fair
Withers-
analysis.
It's
I'm
Jude is
serious.
a ripoff. It's a B version of Hound Dog. So I don't know why you like Hey Jude.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
By the way, I really ruffled Zeus's feathers here.
Well-
Ain't no sunshine. If you're gonna put sunshine and being gone, it has to be a Bill Withers. I'm sorry.
Well, that's also true. Yeah.
What's that? The fucking what's that comedian? Craig Gass. We
Oh, yeah.
just playing that clip. It's like, you know it, I know it. That song is Beth. So yes, that song is very similar. All right, number 10 for me is No More Water in the Well.
Okay. Number 10 for me is Don't Send Me Away.
My 10 has already been picked by, I think, Zeus. Sorry is a sorry word.
That's Tom.
Ruffin sells this baby. It's got a great 67 kind of trippy vibe, but it's mostly a forgettable song for me.
Okay.
9 for me, Save My Love for a Rainy Day.
Ditto for me. Same thing for me at number 9.
You guys are both insane. Okay.
No.
Both off the boy. We definitely came from this record from
I'm on
different
crack.
angles.
I'm admitting it.
My number 9 is Now That You've Won Me. Again, pretty representative cover of a Smokey Robinson classic, but go listen to the Marvin Gaye version.
Okay.
All right, number 8 is Ain't No Sun, Since You've Been Gone.
Okay. Number 8 for me is You're My Everything.
Okay. Two Sides of Love. Sweet Eddie Kendricks vocal, but really not much else going on here for me.
Okay.
Number 7, Now That We Found Love, What a Week. Oh, is that not
Heavy
what
D
it
and the
goes?
Boys. All right. Good for you.
Heavy D.
Heavy D and the Boys. Spell with a Z.
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
Now that you won me.
All right. My number 7 is All I Need.
Now, I know you guys were crapping on this one, but Don't Send Me Away. I like this song. This is my 7. It grew on me each time I listened to it. So I
Okay.
listened to these, over and over again, probably 2 or 3 times in a sitting, because it's not a long album. But I thought it was sweet how Kendricks and Ruffin gave their bandmates a chance to, take it out, and no
Yep.
one gets to sing the last song. So I put it a little higher on the list. And I do love that little middle 8 part that sounds like the Nutcracker.
So number 6 for me is Sorry is a Sorry Word.
Okay. Number 6 for me is Now That You've Won Me. Yep.
Number 6 for me, Just One Last Look. Holland Dozier Holland doing their thing, the sad song. I love the groove. I didn't mention
Yeah.
that enough. I really do love the groove of that song.
Okay.
5, Loneliness has made me realize it's you that I need. Sorry is a sorry word. Now that you found loud, ain't no sound. I don't know what else is in that title.
5 for me is Just One Last Look.
This would have gone higher for me because of all the things I said earlier, and I thought you guys are crazy for putting it lower. Although it's not, 9 and or 10 and 11 or 12 like you guys were busting my chops. But Save My Love for a Rainy Day. Great chorus. I'm a big fan of the tempo shift on this one. I just love it.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Number 4, Just One Last Look.
Okay. 4 for me is Loneliness, et cetera, et cetera.
I got number 4 for me is No More Water in the Well. Love it. I'm with Tom. It's an earwig. It's an earworm, I should say. What's an earwig? It's something.
An earwig is a scary,
like
nasty looking bug.
Yeah, that gets in your ear. Yeah,
It could get in your ear. Yeah.
Indeed. I always, anytime you bring in the blues gospel thing of any kind of song, I'm all there.
Yep.
Yeah.
3, All I Need.
Wow. Okay. I was off.
3, No More Water in the Well. I really like that. I think that song is badass.
It really is.
Yep.
Number 3 is Loneliness Made Me Realize that it's you that I need when I'm really lonely and I want to meet somebody. I just love that damn bass line. I just love it. It's a song into itself. Again, it's another one I wanted to just solo and send me the MP3.
Nice.
2, You're My Everything, simply for the Ruffin come in. Oh, my God.
Okay. 2 for me is Ain't No Sun Since You've Been Gone.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
I really like that. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get back in Zeus's good graces. My number 2 is You're My Everything. I think this is the best Temptation song as a band on this, with both lead singers crushing it, background ooze, killing it, the call and response, the strings, the congas.
Yep.
All of it. We talked about it before, but I think this is very close. Nothing's going to beat my number 1, but this is so close.
You know what's funny I think about now, Tom? Ain't No Sun, right?
Yep.
It's got that
Yeah.
on the drum part, right?
Like ooh wee, what's up with that?
Yeah, that, from Saturday Night Live. That's what it's.
The hi-hat.
We're gonna get a little temptation.
That is one I watched.
Celebration.
That's cool. That is one of the best things. The best is when they had Lindsey Buckingham actually on it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because they make fun of him. Everybody like, oh, Lindsay, we didn't have enough time. We'll get to you. And then the one with the best is when they had just randomly had Bill O'Reilly on.
Yeah,
one
and
time.
other people. They would have other people, like random celebrities.
One of the
come
most
on.
De Niro was
outrageous
on there.
skits ever.
Oh,
And
it's
every
so
time
good.
he'd be like, you better not go into that music. And he'd like make the no. And I'd say,
It's so good. I love that.
Samuel Jackson was the best on it. Doesn't he
Oh,
get up
yeah.
and like grab him? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's fantastic. So number 1 for me, is I'm Losing You. Just the coolest fucking track of all.
Zeus, this is an ARC rarity here. I don't know how often this happens, but everybody's got the same number 1. Our rankings are all over the place except for the same number 1. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, a killer track, one of the greats.
Indeed.
Was this? You mentioned this before. Was this a hit? I know you said the album went to number 7. This was a hit.
I mean, this song specifically, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the song itself went to number 8 on Billboard, and number 1 on R&B.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it stands out. It's just one of those incredible things. Again, everybody, recommend the movie and miniseries. You'll see. Hopefully, you guys will like this. I will count how many people like, oh, what the fuck? R&B, Temptation, strong pass.
Oh, yeah. Hard pass. Let me know when you review another Maiden album.
It's all right. You listen when you want to listen. You don't have to listen. But if you don't want to listen, then don't listen. You don't have to fucking announce it to me.
Well, like I always say, this
track at home, like, oh, we just lost one.
Like I always say, this isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Zeus had mentioned an album to me before we did the Rod Stewart one, Footloose and Fancy Free, that I hope that we get to do. I don't know if Tom knows it. Don't mention it, but
don't mention it.
We'll
see. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What we do now is Tom's favorite thing, and that's this. Let's go to James first. James, what makes you rock hard these days?
All right. Well, I think I blew it last time because I was like traveling with my family, and then I thought, oh my God, it's named Rock Hard.
Traveling with your family, wearing Argyle socks and open toe sandals. And
yes. My favorites. All right. Yep. So I think Tom might like this, and I'm not sure. I want to get both of you guys because he always recommends series, or he likes sci-fi stuff. He likes horror stuff. Have you guys seen the Fallout series on Amazon?
Nope. I've heard it's very good though.
So good.
Okay, good.
Both of you guys, everybody. It's written beautifully. The music's excellent. The special effects are not over the top. They're very realistic. It's great sci-fi, great horror, great character development. Just everybody's good in it.
I've heard it's good. Nice. Okay.
Very good. Both you guys check it out.
Okay. I'll go next. So we're recording Sunday, February 22nd. So even before the incredible events of the day. I am an Olympics nerd. Since I was a little kid, I know, hold on. Since I was a little kid, I've always loved the Olympics. The summer and winter, I prefer the winter. I have been watching them seriously nonstop. I'm sad that today is the end of it because I watch them all the time. And I'm fascinated by these events that you've never heard of in your entire life that you watch. I find myself sitting down watching the biathlon. What the fuck are these guys doing skiing and shooting? Like, I find myself learning the rules to curling. And like, what the fuck? Like, and then of course, today was the day.
You watched curling?
I did. Yep. Absolutely.
What happened with that guy swearing at another guy? I just saw like a clip of it.
I don't know, it was a curling fight. I don't know if they fight in curling.
It was like some guy from Switzerland was complaining to the Canadian guy, touched it with his finger. He was like, fucking, you fucking did this. I was like, there's going to be a fight in curling?
What's he going to hit him with his broom? Jesus, settle out, nerd.
I thought you saw it because
I didn't see that. I saw
the highlight clip of it.
But I've been watching all the events, and obviously, of course, this was going to be my rock hard anyways. And then today, of course, for the first time in 46 years, on the exact same day
that's nuts.
As the Miracle on Ice, I get to watch with my own eyes for the first time ever America win the gold medal in hockey because I was 6 years old and when this happened in 1980, so I don't remember it. Just an incredibly amazing moment and just topped off a really, really nice Olympics experience. I'm a big fan of the Olympics, always have been, and I loved every minute of it. So,
you know what's great about sports before Zeus goes? You always remember where you were.
100%.
To the minute of days where you were. And I remember sitting in my car because it was on the radio first, and then they did the rebroadcast of the 1980, 46 years ago today. Probably right around now. I don't know. It's 2:30 now while we're taping this, but it was around 5 o'clock. In that last 6 minutes where we were like, you just know Russia could score 3 goals in 6 minutes.
Exactly.
And then finally when they won and then just not dying to see the whole game, so but that's the great thing about sports. Yeah.
Zeus.
All right. So for me, kind of jumping off into that is I watched The Miracle, The Boys of 80 documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, I got to watch
that. About the 1980 Olympic team. I've talked about this before. It is an incredible story because a lot of those guys are in our backyard. We've talked about this with Jim Craig and his Papa Gino's Pizza wearing Olympic jacket he used to come into when we were in college. And a lot of those guys, like Dave Silk was on like those beer leagues when I was in high school. We'd play against them. So that Olympic team, the documentary is fantastic. There's another documentary I had that was called Do You Believe in Miracles? That was done about 20 years ago, which is fantastic. The movie Miracle is
good. Yeah.
But
I love the movie.
New Netflix one is pretty cool because they have, talking to the players nowadays, telling the stories. A lot of the stuff I knew, but there's more background stuff, family, like home video stuff that if you're interested in that, you would see and you'd find it fascinating. What I always like to explain to people, like, they beat the Russians. They're the better team, and we beat them. We never should have beat them. Okay, great. You have no idea how good that Russian team was.
I know.
I'll put it in perspective. Earlier, only a few months earlier, they beat the NHL All-Star team 6-0.
Yeah.
The NHL All-Star team, 6-0. And a bunch of fucking U.S. college amateurs went and beat them. Do you have any idea how unbelievable? And they beat them by like 30 days ago by 7 goals.
That's it. Yeah, that's the biggie right there.
So that doesn't matter to me. The fact that they just beat the fucking greatest players in the NHL is by 6 goals and shut them out.
Yeah.
Because the Russians
no one scores off them because that was a professional team. It's bullshit. They called them soldiers. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It was the same team for like 15 years.
Right. And that's the Soviet Union then. And so they paid those guys to do nothing but play hockey. So that would be like the 27 Yankees going around and playing a bunch of like amateurs, and all they had to do was get paid to do that 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So, and as you guys mentioned, these are college kids that hadn't even played together for like 3 weeks. It's the greatest upset in the history of sport.
Yeah, it is literally. Japan has a national team. Japan just played the Major League Baseball All-Star team and beat them 6-0.
Right.
And then the college kids
come in and
beat that team.
Right.
That should
never happen. Yeah, I know.
It's unfucking believable.
Yeah, and of course,
it's great.
Yeah, and with that being said, just real quick, I mean, the context of today's gold medal game, to me, it's still I get wrapped up in that American stuff. I love seeing the guys skate around the ice with the flag, and I love that. And of course, we're talking about NHL pros from U.S. versus NHL pros from Canada. It's not a miracle on ice, but it's a gold medal, and it's the first time they've ever done it. I keep forgetting how many times they've lost out on the gold medal, and they finally won it. And I'll tell you right now, that fucking goalie for the U.S., they build a friggin' statue of him right now because that guy was unbelievable all game. I think he stopped like 50 shots or something, let in one goal. Just unreal.
Yeah, it's a sporting event, Tom, but that was during the Cold War.
Exactly. It was more. Oh, yeah, it was more than a sporting event. Yep.
And it was in America.
Yep.
And the last thing I'll say is that you guys, there's no way you remember this because I was, 16, 17 in 1980, is that about 8 years earlier, the U.S. basketball team that should have been beating everybody.
Oh, I remember
got beat in a game where there was totally ripped off.
Totally, yeah, the rig.
Oh, yeah, that was rigged.
That was
fucking
rigged.
Refs and shit.
There's documentaries on that, too. The whole thing was fixed.
So when you add all of that in, the politics, the cultural aspect of it, the way the world was then, and then I believe also that was during the Iran crisis with the hostages.
There's a million reasons about the U.S. morale was dead and everything like that.
It's a special. Yeah, it superseded sports. Obviously.
And a crazy, what you just said, a crazy upset on any possible way. Little league team beating, a major league.
Yep.
The other aspect of it is for us locally.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Yeah, they're all a lot of Massachusetts. Matt Boldy, who got the first goal. Grew up in Milford, Mass, fucking less than 10 minutes away from me. You got Charlie McAvoy was on that team.
Eruzione, wasn't he also a Massachusetts guy?
Well, yeah, Eruzione is from Winthrop. What's his face there? Jack O'Callahan, Dave Silk, Dave Christian ended up playing for the Bruins, right? So there's a bunch of them. Now, there's another aspect of this we forgot to talk about. Both games, the women's and the men's, were won in overtime over Canada.
That's right. The women won the gold medal too.
Megan Keller.
Yep.
Right? Plays
over Canada. Yeah. And people forget that Russian game was not the gold medel. They had to go win the gold medal.
They had to beat Finland.
The U.S. team.
They almost lost that game. And I love the fucking comment. The only comment that Coach Herb Brooks did, he went into that locker room and just said, if you lose this game, you're going to fucking take it to your grave. And that's it. And he walked out. And then because they were down by a goal in the third.
And the funny thing is, no one remembers that gold medal game against Finland.
They don't. Right. Exactly.
Nobody.
Down.
Yep.
The real hero of the whole tournament, I know Eruzione was it. I've said it before.
Yeah.
The best comment was somebody said to him, like, if you missed that shot by 2 inches, you'd be painting bridges the rest of your life. He went on. Now he became a hero because that. But Mark Johnson was by far the big scorer and the best player in that whole tournament.
Yep.
By far. He ended up being a pro player and stuff. He had all the big goals for U.S. Olympics. But
who was the guy?
Other thing?
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, the other thing I was going to say is the woman that scored the goal is what's her face there? Megan Keller. She's plays for the Boston Pride, which is the Boston Pro.
The women's hockey team. Yeah.
There's another Massachusetts connection there.
Yep.
So there's a lot of that stuff for us locally, and we've talked about it before. Because of Bobby Orr in the 60s in hockey, they built up all those rinks, and then all of a sudden hockey became a big thing here in Massachusetts.
Yep. Great point.
All those kids ended up being on the 1980 Olympic team, and now hockey is the big thing. Is Minnesota, Herb Brooks, Massachusetts, Bobby Orr. Created the two big hotbeds in hockey.
Well, yeah, every time. I mean, there was a time when anytime you watched the NCAA hockey tournament, it was all the schools were from New England and from Michigan, the Michigan area, or Minnesota area, like the Great Lakes area in New England.
By Canada. Yeah, exactly. Who was the guy that ended up on the Islanders and then won the gold medal? Was Vic Morrow, right? No, Vic Morrow's the actor.
Vic Morrow's the actor that was killed.
Vic Morrow was in King Creole with Elvis Presley. Ken Morrow played for the Islanders.
The Islanders.
And won like 4 straight after that.
4 straight with the Islanders.
Exactly, after winning the Olympic gold. And his son was on the Bruins for a little bit, and he sucked, Joe Morrow.
Oh, shit.
Part of the Tyler Sagan trade, Tom. Anyway, that was the Temptations. we want to give James an opportunity. James, tell everybody what's going on with you lately and where they can find you and your new podcast.
Oh, thank you. Well, you can always find me at jamescampion.com. I do a Profund Music thing for my Patreon. And thanks to Tom and Zeus, and I do thank them in the credits of my very first episode, which will be launching on February 25th on the Pantheon Network, where you're listening to this now, called 300 Favorite Albums. Guys, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. And, you help sell my books. You're always so friendly. This is always the most fun going on with you guys. I forget we're even doing a podcast. Like a few seconds ago, I was like, are we recording this?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I love it too.
Because we're throwing out stupid names and going on 15 different directions. Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
great.
James thinks dead actors are playing Olympic hockey. I mean, he's
Dennis Green joined the fucking Temptations.
By the way,
man,
James,
I'm old.
good timing for you because this episode will drop on the same day that your new podcast, Wednesday the 25th.
Thank you.
So
Thank
when
you
this
so
drops,
much.
you guys go tune into James's new show and
Yep.
make sure you subscribe and follow him on jamescampion.com.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and the basic premise of that thing is to just pick out albums from my favorite list and then get guests on who either wrote books about it or are in the band or are musicians that like it.
Awesome.
I have a lot of my guests pick out the record and then so they come on with the same enthusiasm. So
Can't wait. Love it. Awesome.
Thank you,
James,
both.
you're the best. Thank you so much, buddy. We love having you always.
All right, guys. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Tom, that was James Campion, and that was our review of The Temptations with a Lot of Soul. So now let's do what we do, and we're going to rank this by album covers first.
Yep.
You want to read your top 5 album covers?
Yep. So for album covers, number 5, Rage Against the Machine, Blizzard of Oz, Purple Rain, Master of Puppets, Diary of a Madman. I'm not really sure what's going on with this cover, but I will tell you this: we've had a lot of really bad covers, and this cover isn't bad. It's just, I like the colors. It's got a woman on it. I don't know what she's doing, but for me, I'm gonna put it at number 59, right below John Bon Jovi's Wild Hickory Nuts.
All right. So, Tom, my list, top 5. Diary of a Madman is at 5. 4 is Appetiti. 3 is Blizzard of Oz. 2, Hotel California. Number 1 is Elvis NBC TV special. I am going to put this. I'll put this at 46.
Okay.
Underneath Shout at the Devil and above Electric. It gives me a little bit of that J.J. Evans Good Times vibe.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And so that's where I'm going with this.
Okay. Cool.
All right, let's go to albums overall.
All right. Albums for me at number 5. I have Dirt, Shout at the Devil, Purple Rain, Moving Pictures, and Master of Puppets. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never owned this album. I've never owned any Temptations album. It's a good album. This is one of those examples where, how am I supposed to rank the Temptations up against like Rat and Whitesnake and Rainbow and Ozzy and the Eagles? It just gets tough for me. So I know this is lower than it probably deserves to be because it's being ranked against albums that are more quote unquote in my wheelhouse, even though I do like Motown. I do like the Temptations. That being said, I'm putting this at 63, right below Rainbow, Down to Earth.
I don't know which is worse. Do you have both of them that low or what?
I know.
And then you also have Slave to the Line down there too.
I don't like Skid Row, with all due respect to Sebastian Bach. I've never been a fan.
God. All right, my top 5. Purple, Blizzard of Oz, Automatic for the People, Hotel California, NBC TV special. I am going to put this. I'm going to put this at 34, just underneath Dirt and above Doggy Style.
Okay.
I love this album.
It's a good album. Yeah, it is.
And I go
enjoyed
to
it.
it. And the problem is I also have, like, I just usually when I go to an album to listen to an album, I'll do that. But most of the time when I put Temptations, I just put Temptations, all the stuff I have from them on shuffle. So it's not like I get this all the time, but it's my favorite of their albums. So I'll go with that at number 34.
Nice. Okay.
Tom, where can people find us?
So we are Shouted Out Loudcast. If this is your first time listening to us, we are usually an all Kiss podcast, dropping Kiss-related episodes every Saturday. We do these album review crew episodes once a month, and you can find information about our show and everything else that we do, which is a lot, and that's at shoutedoutloudcast.com, so please check us out. Links to all of our social media and everything else that you're interested in. We do a lot there, so please check out that website. And, of course, our email address, shoutedoutloudcast@gmail.com. And we always like to remind everybody and let them know that we're a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network of shows.
Tom, what we always like to do is leave with famous last words. Do you have any?
Always. How long do you think my love can last? Through sorrow, pain, and mistrust. Today, my love is strong, but keep doing me wrong, and tomorrow it may turn to dust. Ooh, I like Threats by the Temptations. Ooh. Bitch, you keep fucking with me, you're out.
It's all over your face. Someone's taken my place. Ooh, baby, I'm losing you. You see it, it's in the air. It's everywhere. Ooh, baby, I'm losing you.
Nice.
I have a habit of singing this song to myself in the car.
Oh, nice.
And I always will say, my version goes a little differently, Tom.
Okay.
It's all over the place. Someone jizzed on your face.
There you go. I was waiting for it.
Baby, I'm losing you.
Oh, great.
I didn't want to do that in front of our Hall of Fame esteemed guest because he'll be like, "That's it, I'm out of Pantheon, I'm done."
Please, don't worry. He'll just listen secretly and laugh.
I'm sorry. That's how he knows he's losing her.
Yeah, exactly. Because
she's got
somebody else's on her face.
Yeah.
That's how it's written all over your face. I can see that ain't me.
Yeah, sit down, chair number 2. Be right in a minute.
Exactly.
Hall of Famer James Campion, author. Make sure you check out his podcast, which is dropping today. When you play this episode, check him out, subscribe to him, and give him some love. Tom, Temptards, Loudcasters, Kiss Army, David Ruffin Tards. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our good friend James Campion. And yes, check out his podcast and his books. He does an incredible job. And of course, if you haven't read his Kiss book, I don't know what you're waiting for. And his Prince book is fantastic as well. And yes, Temp Tards, Motown Tards, Eddie Kendrick, keep on trucking Tards. And Zeus, as always, my friend, thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. Shout it out loud, yeah. I like it.